Yo, what's up guys, it's Technology back here, and today in this video we are gonna have a complete look at this all new CPU cooler which I bought off Amazon. It's a Deepcool AG400. It comes with a 120mm RGB fan and 4 copper heat pipes, and I bought it for 1700 rupees. So let's unbox it, install it onto our PC, and let's compare how is it in comparison to the stock Wraith cooler that comes with AMD Ryzen 5. So without wasting much time, let's quickly begin with the video. So first things first, the packaging is really simple. It arrived in the massive box and it was securely packed so that it could not get damaged during shipping. On the back side, you get several product descriptions written right there, and on the top you have the printed label where the printed price is $25.99, but you can get it off Amazon for a really low cost. So let's quickly just get it opened up. The packaging is really simple, and as soon as we open it, on the top we get the mounting brackets. There are a total of 2 brackets and a bunch of screws and also a bit of thermal paste. So let's just put it aside. Then we have the paperwork, which includes the installation manual and the warranty cards. So paperwork aside, inside, moving over the cardboard and taking off the foam packaging, we have our CPU cooler in brand new condition. It's good to see that proper use of foam has been done so that the aluminium fins don't get damaged. So let's just have a look at the installation kit that you get with this cooler. You get a bunch of things. Firstly, you get this thermal paste. Then you have 2 of these plastic brackets which go behind your motherboard. These are for Intel based sockets. In case of AMD, you already get a bracket that comes with your motherboard or your processor itself. These are equipped with 3M tape so that you can get it fixed behind your motherboard and they can just sit in there. Then you have your mounting bracket which will sit on top of this installation motherboard bracket. You'll have to screw it in place, and then your CPU cooler will get locked onto this little unit. Then you get some screws which are going to be useful when you'll be installing the installation bracket and your CPU cooler to the socket. And apart from that, you also get this packet of spacers which will be necessary for the installation bracket. Now let's get back to our primary unit, the CPU cooler. Just have a look. With a first look, a person will conclude that the design is really sleek and the product looks premium. It's not over texturized or anything. It has got 4 copper pipes which allow intense cooling. It has got this protective sheet on the bottom. On the top, it has got this cool logo from Deepcool with all the 8 copper heads heading up. And the fan is like unmountable. You can get it off and get your fins cleaned up. These fins are made up of aluminium, which could have been better if copper was used in here as well, but copper would make it insanely expensive. So yes, aluminium is a good choice. Apart from the fins, you get the standard 4-pin connector on the fan, which goes straight into your motherboard. Then you have these 2 screw-like things on the base plate, which will get locked onto the installation bracket. With all the product description clear, now let's head over and get this fan installed onto our current PC. Right now I'm using an AMD Ryzen 5 2400G and it is hitting 80-85 degrees Celsius when I go to export high quality videos. So yes, I'll be taking off my existing CPU cooler and will install this one, and then let's compare what is the temperature difference with this Deepcool CPU cooler versus the AMD stock cooler. In case you're a beginner, the installation is going to be really simple. All you need to do is you need to take off the existing CPU cooler, get your processor cleaned up with a bit of isopropyl alcohol so that the old thermal paste stains get off, get your processor installed, and in my case I'm installing it on an AMD based processor, so I'll be using the stock bracket that comes with the motherboard. In case you're using an Intel motherboard, then you'll have to use the socket which comes with this package. Any one of those 2 will fit your motherboard and get it done. Once placing your socket inside, you will get these height spacers. These orange ones are for AMD and the black ones are for Intel. So just place the spacers on the 4 screw holes and then just get the mounting bracket onto this, align it properly and then screw it in. So the main goal is to get this bracket parallel to the processor. Once you have the bracket installed, now the next step is to get yourself the thermal paste. Usually using a high quality thermal paste would be recommended, but Deepcool offers really good thermal paste with their coolers, so yes, you can use the one that comes in the sachet. Make sure that you use all of it because if you leave it aside, it will eventually dry up and become useless. Now bring in your CPU cooler and get the cable connected to the motherboard, because once installed, you won't have enough space to walk inside and get the cable plugged in. Then try to manage the excess of the cable and put it aside so that it does not interfere with the cooling process. But one important step, make sure that you take off this protective film. Otherwise, your PC would cry after you power it on. And once everything is set, simply get the cooler placed down, The bracket has two screw-like things which will go on these sockets of the cooler. Simply get them aligned properly and then simply screw it in. Make sure it goes properly tight inside, otherwise if it's loose then it would impact your cooling performance. And so with that, we are done with the installation of this brand new CPU cooler. Now it's time to put everything back together and let's have a stress test and see what temperatures it goes right now. One important tip is that before you buy this cooler, make sure you check that your PC has enough space for this cooler. At least the height should be sufficient. Though in my case it is too close to the upper fan, but that would be a plus point because it would help pull out the hot air from the cooler itself. So it's the moment of truth. I press the power button and boom, it turns on perfectly fine. And the RGB of this fan somewhat matches the RGB from my PC cabinet. So it suits the entire theme of my PC. So I'll be using Cinebench for the benchmark and Core Temp for measuring the temperatures. So on the left you have the stock cooler temps and on the right side you have the temps with the Deepcool CPU cooler. So let's just let it run for around 10 minutes and then we'll check how different it is. So here we are with the results. The stock cooler is hitting 85 degrees Celsius, but at the same time this Deepcool CPU cooler is going only up to 66, and even after 66 it does fluctuate 1 or 2 degrees on the negative end. So yes, a drop of 20 degrees Celsius is seen, which is actually impressive because 20 degrees do make a big impact when it comes to rendering 4K videos. So yes, it's clearly noticeable. Buying this CPU cooler is actually worth it, and it completely changed the temperature scene of your processor. So if you love your processor and it's going too hot, consider getting it a new cooler because it's somewhat starving inside with its temps. So that's all for this video. For any queries, comment down, and if you are interested in such stuff, subscribe as we keep bringing such videos every week. Thanks for watching.